Hello, been a minute. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. Attempting to go live right now. It's about 11:34 Central Time, my time. Saturday, October 12th, day before the big game, home against Detroit after a big win at Pittsburgh. If you're watching, if you catch it on live or you watch this after it's uploaded, been at this for a little minute now. Whenever you do live shows and you got a small show, sometimes it's hit or miss. We'll see by like the 5 or 10 minute mark how this one goes. But I think I'm like 73 away from 500, something like that. Every subscriber counts. When they hit 500, I got a Emmitt Smith Rookie of the Year card giveaway raffle, and then when I hit 1,000, an autographed Larry Allen football raffle giveaway, as both of those iconic players in Cowboys history. One, all-time rushing leader. Other, Larry Allen, considered the best lineman ever played the game. So, those are two pretty good prizes, I'd say. So I'm going to just jump into it. When people jump on, they can stay on, or we'll see what happens. But we're playing home against Detroit. They're 3-1. They've only played 4 games. We played 5. We get up by after this. We had a big win at Pittsburgh. We're 3-0 on the road, we're 0-2 at home. Every prognosticator doing our schedule would have never thought we'd be 3-0 on the road, 0-2 at home through the first 5, but we are. The 2 road losses were pretty bad. Baltimore, we did have a gasp if we'd have made those 2-point conversions, but playing at home now, where we've lost 3 times in a row, and besides the fourth quarter of Baltimore, all first 11 quarters are really bad. So 3-1. Week 1 they beat the Rams overtime 26-20. Week 2 they lose against the Bucks at home 2016. Week 3 at Arizona they won 2013. Against Seattle they won 42-24. The only time Detroit has lost is when Jared Goff threw 55 pass attempts. He only threw 28 against the Rams, 23 against Arizona, and 18 against Seattle. That Bucks game was one of their lower rushing totals. I think it was their lowest rushing total between the two bags. But 55 attempts for Jared Goff. That's when they lose. So if our offense can move the football, if we can continue to grow on offense, offensive line keeps gelling, run block better, run block we did at Pittsburgh, and put points on the board and make Detroit have to, call it a shootout match, score for score. That can play in our favor. If our offense is stagnant and Jared Goff doesn't have to sling the ball around and they could just run the football and make the game short because we can't move the ball, that's going to be down for us. That's basically the key for both right there. We'll see. About 55 pass attempts. That's the only time that Detroit's lost. So Tampa Bay did a good job of stopping that run and kept the pressure on them where you had to throw 55 times. So we'll see now with everybody else. We have 5-6 starters out on defense still. Deron Bland's a no-go. I don't know. I would have played him the week before the bye. I would have played Deron. I would have put at least have Bland out there on a pitch count a week before the bye. So after the bye week at San Fran, he'd have his feet wet already. But he's a late scratch. And so there are 2 home run weapons. Jameson Williams, that wide receiver, Jahmyr Gibbs, that running back, Alabama boy. As we've been good at that home, we've had blown coverages and can't stop the run. What's going on, Justin? How you doing, my brother, man? Got the new crib finally. Got the new crib. So right now, my backdrop's right there. But the garage is going to get done. It's going to be badass. But yeah, so back doing my thing here. But our last 3 games at home, it's either been horribly blown coverages, really bad run defense, and they got guys that can take it home, a wide receiver and running back. I'm good, Justin. Just telling you about this last month, I guess. But last 2 weeks, defense has looked a lot better. We'll see if that's an aberration or not. I mean, we beat Cleveland, we beat the Giants, and then we beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was a good win. Pittsburgh don't have much of an offense. Najee Harris is in a home run hitter. He's the power back, and it's only working if they went in the line of scrimmage. So with Tyrus Wheat and all the bench players we had last week, winning the line of scrimmage was impressive. Who would have thought too? At Pittsburgh with all them guys out, Tyrus Wheat being our best pass rusher and coming off the edge, like he's somebody, was inspiring, to say the least, and to pull that out at the end. We don't win games like that. That was 2019 New Orleans, where we lost 10-12. That game was 2019 at Patriots, where we lost 13-9, 4-point loss. You know, those are games that we never pull out. Is what it is. So, I mean, Deron Bland's out, Parsons, D-Law, Marshawn Elam, and Eric Kendricks, the Mike linebacker. Yeah, I appreciate it, my man. Just laying jersey, 88 for life. Eric Kendricks is out. Mike linebacker, quarterback of the defense. Who's going to quarterback the defense? You know, it's not going to be overshown. It's going to be Leah Fowl. I don't think it's going to be Clark. Clark he didn't play a snap. Damone Clark didn't play one snap at Pittsburgh. So Leah Fowl is already taking his spot as a rookie. But not having the quarterback of the defense out there, number 50, not having the green dot out there, that's going to change things. That injury right there is the biggest one. Deron Bland not playing sucks. But Eric Kendricks, of all people, I would say Eric Kendricks not playing is almost bigger than Micah Parsons not playing. Because he knows the defense, played the same damn system for the last 10 years. There's quarterback of the defense, calls changes at the line of scrimmage, can see what the offense is doing. And, you know, so with him being out, we're going to see how that works. Brandon Cooks is going to be out again. He's on IR. Jalen Tolbert, we're going to see what he's about. He's had a pretty good last two games. Last game, he was the star wide receiver. And then Rico Dowdle. I said before the season, he could, if all offensive line run blocks decent, he could rush for 1,300 yards. Rico has skill. You don't have a UDFA stay on your team for 5 seasons because he's not good and then become the starter. He just had injury-prone first few years, you know, big-time injuries. He could play all year. Last season he's healthy. This year he's healthy. We saw against Pittsburgh he can be pretty good. Besides that fumble, which, I mean, the Steelers' defense has always made amazing plays. That linebacker jumping from halfway in the end zone to meet him right to LOS, that was something else. But Rico, can we run the ball? We stopped zone blocking against Pittsburgh, and then we went to what we used to do, and that was hat on the hat or double the defensive end on the right. So Zach Martin, Terrence Steele doubling, T.J. Watt running off the right side. That's what we did in 2022, where we had a hell of a good running game, and last season where it was pretty decent. This year we've been zone blocking. It doesn't work right now. It doesn't work with the 2 rookies that we have and Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele and Zach Martin, when they take out that defensive end on the right, both of them, running off the right side, we can run with impunity. That's what in 22, that's what they did. They had Steele and Martin double block on the right side, and then around the side it was, what's going on, Jason Jefferson? Running over the right side was a lot easier than the left, even though we had Tyron Smith at the time. So basically, how important is this game, right? 3-1 against 3-2. Super Bowl favorite, them in San Fran. They blew a 24-7 lead in the championship game, right? So Detroit really should have been playing Kansas City in the Super Bowl. And they have, you know, bad blood of how they lost last season. A win. How far does a win go? I think if we pull this out at home, and again, it's just like Pittsburgh, no matter if it's a defensive game or if it's a shootout, it doesn't matter. If we beat the Lions by a point or by 21 points, it doesn't matter. If we win this game, we go into the bye week at 4-2, just knocking off at Pittsburgh at home against Detroit with bench players, a lot, you know, 7-8 bench players. That's going to be saying a lot for the team. That's going to raise confidence up. That's going to raise Mike McCarthy's confidence up, all that. A loss. Now that goes in 2 parts. If we lose a close game at home against Detroit, it's going to be a well-fought game against 2 heavyweights. If Detroit comes in and runs us over, like you did, like New Orleans did, like Baltimore did, then, you know, the Cowboys are going to be back at square one, like they were, actually New Orleans and Baltimore. So, a blowout loss, back to square one. If it's a close loss to Detroit, a hard-fought game against 2 contenders. If we win, then that's back-to-back wins against good teams on the road at home with 8 guys off the bench. Next man-up mentality. Other guys are making plays because they're getting opportunities. So when starters come back, this team should be better. Rested and battle-tested. So each game this season seems to build more and more momentum. And everybody is a gauntlet right now. San Fran's next 6 is a gauntlet. Look at the schedule. Detroit's next 6 is a gauntlet. Our next 6 is a gauntlet. all the top teams in the NFC last year are about to go on this run. We started ours in Pittsburgh. So beating Detroit, going to the bye week, that'd be 2-0 in that 6-game gauntlet, starting off 2-0 basically, and then getting a bye, and then going to the Bay Area. That's huge on confidence. And I know San Fran just beat Seattle, but they are 3-3. They blew 2 leads by 10 points in the fourth quarter, Rams in Arizona. So they're very human, but they have some key injuries too. So I wouldn't be surprised if when we go there, maybe CMC might be back, you never know. Hufunga, the guys that they don't have. But yeah, so my score prediction for this game, which I haven't put out yet, I think we recapture the Magic at home. Where we won 16 in a row before January of this year. And it's going to be a tight game again, but I'm going to put it Cowboys 31, Detroit 24. And I think it's going to come down to what defense makes the big play. And even though Bland ain't playing, Diggs is kind of banged up, Kendricks ain't out there, our defense is going to rise to the occasion like last week with a lot of bench players. And it's gonna Mike Zimmer, defense didn't look good week 2, week 3, but beginning of last season, offense didn't look good because it was a brand new system. Jason Garrett's, to West Coast offense, just West Coast. So offense started slow, but ended top in the league. So defense, started slow. Brand new scheme after 3 years under Dan Quinn. Week 1 looked good, but everybody was good against Cleveland. Week 2, week 3 looked like complete garbage. Looked like Mike Nolan's defense in 2020. And in the last 2 weeks has looked, pretty stout. And then last week with backup players. So Mike Zimmer still might be the man for the job. He's still undecided. Raymond, so at least how you doing, my man? And if Mike Zimmer can coach his defense to a win and hold this team to 24 points, say it's 34-21, that'll be a win for Mike Zimmer, a big win, and holding a potent offense that has weapons up the wazoo and a very good offensive line. That'll put Mike Zimmer back on the map as defensive coordinator. If he can hold them 24 or less, and if our offense can move the football like they know they can, if we continue run blocking like we did against Pittsburgh, do that. Continue to get 88 involved, even if you got to force feed them sometimes, get them involved. He took over the game last season against Detroit. Cooks is out, but Tolbert could be the new number 2. He could be better. It's his time to shine, man. He's got size, speed, all that. Cooks is faster, but Tolbert, he ain't no turtle, and he's got size. He ain't got Terrell Owens size, but he's very similar looking to Julio Jones. Size-wise, Julio's a little bit bigger, but he's got that style of play. Those are my kids in the background. I do apologize. I'll get the microphone as soon as this gets a little bigger here. That's what I said. Want to hit 500 subscribers? In the next 73, Emmitt Smith Rookie of the Year card raffle giveaway is yours. And then when 1,000 Larry Allen autographed football raffle giveaway is yours. So far, this is the biggest game of the season. If we win, it's gonna look upwards to 12 wins. Like I said, 12-5, 13-4. If we lose, knowing we had to go to San Fran after the bye week, it could look like more of a 9-10 win season. That's how big of a swing, a win-loss swing, I think this game's going to make. A win, you're looking maybe 12-5, 13-4. A loss, being that San Fran is after the bye week, could be a 9-10 win season. This game, it's all built up to this game right here, and it's at home. Well, we should be golden, but we haven't been lately. If we can change that narrative with how many? 5, 6 bench players, that's gonna be huge, man. It reminds me of when we didn't have Dak at 22 for 5 games and Cooper Rush won 4 in a row. You know what I mean? It was like, man, the season's over. Losing the quarterback's like losing 4 or 5 starters. So losing Dak at 22 against Tampa and then us winning 4 in a row, was huge. And that's kind of like this would be. And after that, we were, that was our best season out of the last 3 12-win seasons. We got to round 2, and we played San Fran that year. That was a battle-tested team. This right here will be battle-tested, especially if they can win at home against Detroit. At Pittsburgh, at home against Detroit, minus at least 6 starters. Mostly on defense. You know what I mean? So, and then Eric Kendricks, that, like I said, that's bigger than Micah Parsons not playing. That is the quarterback of the defense. So, somebody, Leafau, I wouldn't be surprised if Leafau actually starts a middle linebacker. But we'll see. We know Overshown, he's gonna be on his outside. He don't play Mike. But if Leafau's as good as he looks, as good as advertised, so be it. The more good youth, the better. We hit on draft picks as it is. He was a third-round draft pick, pick 87, part of the first-round trade when we traded down. So if Lee Falcon step in for Kendricks and hold down the fort like a champ, or at least hold his offense to 24 points, and Dagan Company can score at least 31, that would be huge, showing what Lee Falcon do. And then we'll still be having Eric Kendricks back. And all these guys coming back one at a time with these bench players battle-tested and ready to ball because they've been balling if they win tomorrow. Then we get a bye week, regroup, see what San Fran does against Kansas City, and then go to the Bay Area and try to get some revenge. But that's just my simple thoughts. Just doing a short show on tomorrow. My thoughts about the season in general, I'll get to that after this game. A lot hinges on this game, so if you tuned in, I do appreciate it, man. Please subscribe, like, and share. Like I said, 73 away from 500. Hit 500, Emmitt Smith will give you your card. Raffle giveaway, 1,000. Larry Allen autograph football raffle giveaway. But the prizes I give away are going to be good because I've collected a ton of memorabilia throughout my life. So thank you for watching, everybody who did. If you watch it after it's uploaded, thank you again. Keep God first and foremost. He comes before everything, even this. Seek Him in His righteousness, and everything else in your life will fall into place. I'm a living testimony of that if you've been watching me the last 3-4 months. All right, guys. You have a good night. Y'all enjoy the game tomorrow. If I got time to meet y'all tomorrow with some last second thoughts, I will. But until then, guys, keep it real. See y'all after the game for sure. So, peace. Have a good night. Charles and Charlie out.